Yeah, on the video there wasn't, so that worked out better than that's what they ended up posting on YouTube.
Good idea. I'm hoping Brian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we do definitely. He's not. They're not going to stream any of these shows because they said people start Levi's to learn.
Oh.
Because then people are going to just stay home.
Yeah.
But I think it was good that we did that one because there was somebody from Maine to watch it, from Sister Place, from Maryland, and even Tim and Nancy come down because of COVID and did their show and they got to watch it. That's kind of why I was often, sometimes there was a couple of people like today, I think, so I'll watch that. It's funny.
Oh no, because I would like to.
And so I asked about February, because we haven't gotten back to it.
Yeah.
Now, that is
But I'll go get some.
that's bombs and stuff. We wonder if our audience like it.
I wasn't aware of that. I've never heard him live.
No, I haven't either.
I just know all the professional people I talk with say,
Yeah,
how
should
great
have.
he is.
Yeah. But maybe the audience that would come, like the others would go like, she was worried that some audience people would say,
Right.
Oh, that's not my wife. That's
Right. I think our audience might be the ones that would say, "Are you kidding?"
So then I tried to coordinate.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna have to get dropped off.
I
You gotta drop it off. Yes. Because these like that. 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Did you with that paper? It's in my purse.
I'm not going to do anything right now.
So I actually wrote a letter with emails before I went to
Billy, did you want this?
So I think that Henry and Tracy said they don't want it recorded. So they we do have Tim and we do have Tim
Yes, sir. Hi.
and I will try to just relax.
Yeah.
But I still want it close in case they have to go and do
I do have a particular affinity for people.
I do too. It's funny, and that's okay. Chris is trying to, one of the reasons Chris really other names.
Yeah.
One of the guys who really a name for
Oh, is she out?
and it was Susan very nice.
Yeah, this is
So I said, we can't do that one yet.
So Paris is another one I would keep on mind. If he brought in at least his art player or he's got a really cool band.
Yeah, I saw him.
She's right over there by the gate.
Oh, and then, yesterday, so they said, I'll find the because I saw them at Barry's house. I used to see them in, I think actually that was a good suggestion for our venue. I saw them at Barry's house. And I still went over to Barry's house. I used to see her at New York but the show was really good. And it's one that I think our audience would like. So that would be a good one. I maybe choose the one I did. Yeah, I'll try. Have one more time.
I wonder if they're away or something.
But still, I mean, I go in there, I check my email, and I check my phone messages. When I get
Yes, of course. Of course. Hello, Miss Luddecke. You can stay with me.
She'll say, I told you not to wear the jacket.
Hi, folks. Welcome. My name's Mason Deering, and I'm just helping Karen out here a little bit, and herding a goldfish known as performers. So if you've got the program, the only changes are we've had 2 scratches, unfortunately. John Sennett ran into some troubles trying to get here today, and Guy Van Duser's wife is sick, and it's not COVID. He's anxious for the world to know, but she's under the weather so much she really couldn't leave her. So we scratched that. We do have a couple of other substitutions I'm not going to tell you about right now. Better that they're a surprise. Before we get going, Karen would just like to say a few things, after which we're going to hear January Snow from Bob Staines, okay?
Well, folks, I'm not used to a microphone, so I will scooch over there. Oh, I could sit right here. No, it's fine. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming. To honor my husband, to honor Bowen's father. We met in 1972. And that's Lily. She's singing. She doesn't like to be away from me. Actually, you can probably let her go, Deb. Just, yeah, okay. Come on. You're fine. We met in 1972 when he came to play at my college coffee house. And he had an album, and I was a groupie. And I thought, who's this guy with an album? And then probably 3 weekends after we met, he invited me to Philadelphia. I went, and it was history. We got married in 1976. May 1st would have been our 46th anniversary. And darn him, he didn't make it to it. But he's here with us today in spirit. There are a lot of fine folks here, really fine musicians. I can't thank the past team's all-stars enough for helping me pull this together. Mason Deering, Billy Novick, Guy would have been here. I'm forgetting Jeanie, and who am I forgetting? Oh, Mason, Stuart Schulman can't be here today. But I think I first met Anthony Silva in about it was before we were married, 1975. So he's here to read some of Bill's books. John Sennett is Bill's oldest friend. He would have told you probably some stories from way back. He knew Bill before I knew Bill, but unfortunately he got stuck in traffic and had to turn around and give up the ghost. Tom O'Carroll and his wife Debbie. Tom is the musician, Debbie is the magician. Always hard, a mouthful to say. We've got Brian Wood from Texas. We've got Rich Block from, where do you live?
Antrim, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Bob Simon's also from Massachusetts. And I'm sure I'm forgetting other people. Cousin Richard, who runs a talent agency in Portsmouth, but we've also known him socially. So in any case, we've got friends from our neighborhood, as well as the musicians here. And did I miss somebody? I think I got it all.
That's it.
I'll be quiet now. Just again, thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring Bill and coming to see our school. It's a great school. Check us out on the web. All right. Okay, Lily, let's go. Yeah, so I don't.
First up in the music category here. I feel like I'm running America's Got Talent. Bob Simon's, and Bob, I believe you can tell the story if you want. Bob was the first person to ever hear January Snow, a song he's going to do.
It might have been. Yeah, you're probably wondering why I'm up here with all these talented musicians around. Who is that guy? Well, I knew Bill way back in the 60s. John Sennett may have known him first, but I must have been the second guy. Because, I met him around 64, 65, somewhere in there. But we used to do a lot of things together, Bill and I. And one of the things we did was get together and bounce songs off of each other. There was one time at his home in Lexington, I'll never forget it. We were going over songs, and he said, "Here's a song I just wrote. Let me know what you think of it." And I said, "Okay." And it was January snow, and I said, "Yeah, that's a good one to keep." Southbound on the highway, it was early in the morning. Listening to my radio, just trying to get some songs. And to see you sleeping next to me, and to hear you breathing low. On a Baltimore morning in a January snow. Looking for a place to stop and rest myself a while. I watch you as you stir and as you greet me with a smile, with some half-hearted little yawn that sets my heart to glow. On a Baltimore morning in a January snow. It's hard for me to find the words, it's hard to make them right. To tell you just how close I feel at such a happy time, and how a simple thing as us could ever come to grow. On a Baltimore morning in a January snow. Now someday I will think of you beneath some winter sky, rolling down the highway with the sunrise in my eyes. Someday when I'm looking back again, I'll want to go to a Baltimore morning in a January snow. To a Baltimore morning in a January snow. Do 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 do.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Oops, I'd also like to give a shout out to Johnny Wu, wherever you are. He is my assistant here at school, and he put this program together for us. So, and I hope you notice what the insert is. It's the rainbow that followed me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny.
Jeanie, Brian, Rich, so we can set up while Anthony, we're going to have an old friend. In fact, Bill and I could have had a contest on who knew Anthony Silva first. Anthony started the Me and Thee Coffee House in Marblehead, Massachusetts, and Bill and I played there. Bill played there how many times?
62.
62 times.
Wow.
Bill Staines played the Me and Thee, and Jeanie and I played. I played it even before I knew Jeanie, Anthony's, well. You're about to meet Anthony. I'm going to let him speak for himself, okay? This is Anthony Silva.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, I met Bill when I was doing a folk music show. At the age of 15, I had a radio show and invited him to play. To my shocking amazement, he said yes. We were friends ever since. This is from his book. I have always believed that there's a reason for what I do and a purpose for the songs that I create. I know that what guides my heart in this life is the presence of family, home, and friends. But I also know that the reason that I was put here upon this earth, what guides my soul and keeps me going, is the creation of music. When I began to write songs as a teenager, it was rumored that one of the ways that a writer could copyright a song was to record it and then mail the tape of the song back to himself in a sealed package registered mail. When the package was received back home, it was left unopened and stored away as copyright protection. The premise being that the writer would then have a sealed copy of the song with a dated government postmark. This dated postmark will be the earliest official confirmation of the existence of the song and would supposedly hold up in court of proof of ownership by the writer. Whether or not this was actually the case, I never did find out. But I did begin a collection of these unopened tapes of this earliest original material and stored it away for safekeeping in what I have come to call the cabinet. As the years passed, I began to record albums of my songs, and as each of these recordings was released, I stored 2 unopened copies of each in the cabinet. When I began to write my journals, and as each of the volumes was completed, they were all stored away in the cabinet. Any incidental music for films or videos would go into the collection, poetry, lyrics, outlines for long forgotten novels. They all found their way into the pile. It became, and is to this day, the legacy that I will leave behind in this world. I consider myself very fortunate, for if I were told that I had 10 minutes left to live, family feelings aside, I could wrap a ribbon around that cabinet and say, here it is, folks, my purpose, my life. I am ready to move on now. It is all that I could do. It is all that I have time for on this good earth. Do with me what you will now. I am finished here. How many are able to place their arms around their own lives and say, this is who I am and why I am here? I am truly very fortunate.
Jeanie, Stahl, and I have been playing music together for, well, we don't want to count. Sometime between the Pleistocene era and the Iron Age, somewhere in there. And the funny thing is, the first time we played Passim, I believe, wasn't it? First time we played Passim, we opened. Second time, we opened for Bill Staines, and that's how we met Bill Staines.
And Bob and Ray and Donlin at Passim had us open for Bill because he always had a full house, and Bob and Ray were helping us build our career, and Bill could always sell out.
Always. Still selling out. This is a song of his called The Spirit Song.
There stands a misty mountain in the soft and gentle rain, against the flight of endless time, forever to remain. Through all the passing seasons, through every night and day, I can see that misty mountain, and I feel the Spirit say, oh, brother, don't you weep. Oh, brother, don't you weep no more. The sun's gonna shine on a golden shore. Oh, brother, don't you weep. And oh, sister, don't you weep. Oh, sister, don't you weep no more. The sun's gonna shine on a golden shore. Oh, sister, don't you weep. Up the rocky roads of trouble, down the twisted paths of pain, sometimes it is a struggle, sometimes we come up lame, but with children on our shoulders, we face another day, and and through the shining eyes of innocence, I can feel the children say, oh, Father, don't you weep. Oh, Father, don't you weep no more. The sun's gonna shine on a golden shore. Oh, Father, don't you weep. And oh, Mother, don't you weep. Oh, Mother, don't you weep no more. The sun's gonna shine on a golden shore. Oh, Mother, don't you weep. When there's music all around you, but you just can't seem to hear. When the answer's just around the bend, but it never shows up clear. When there's darkness right above you, it's hard to know and understand. But there's a heart out there that loves you. There's a promise in your hand. And oh, people, don't you weep. Oh, people, don't you weep no more. The sun's gonna shine on a golden shore. Oh, people, don't you weep. And oh, people, don't you weep. Oh, people, don't you weep no more. The sun's gonna shine on a golden shore. Oh, people, don't you weep. The sun's gonna shine on a golden shore. Oh, people, don't you weep.
Now we're going to get Tom O'Carroll. He's going to give us, we're going to expand our boundaries of music here, folks. This is Bowen, which is, I was lucky enough to work in Ireland once and do a movie there, and I had first time I met a Bowen player. It's not just another drum, trust me. So Tom's going to do a song called Johnny, I Hardly Knew You. Billy, come on, look.
Hello everybody, I met Bill the first time in the early 70s with my wife and Karen, and we've shared many a meal. We eat 2 or 3 times, 4 or 5 times a year, meet in each other's houses and have a great old time, put on some nice food and some nice drinks, and we always had a good time together. Anyway, I chose to do this song here given the state of the world, with all the violence going on, and we need an anti-war song. Ironically, it came across the pond and became a marching song. This is the early version. When go on the road to Sweetie-Pie, hurroo, hurroo. When go on the road to Sweetie-Pie, hurroo, hurroo. When go on the road to Sweetie-Pie, a stick in me hand, a drop in me eye. A doleful damsel I heard cry, Johnny, I hardly knew you. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. Darn dear, you look so queer, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Where are the eyes which look so mild, hurroo? Where are the eyes which look so mild, hurroo? Burst me, poor heart, you beguiled. Oh, why did you run from me and the child? Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. Darn it, dear, you look so queer, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Where are the legs with which you run, hurroo, hurroo? Where are the legs with which you run, hurroo, run, when first you went to follow the drum. Indeed, your dancing days are done. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With your guns and dums and drums and guns, hooroo, hooroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hooroo, hooroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. Oh, darling dear, you look so queer. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. You haven't an arm and you haven't a leg, hooroo, hooroo. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, hooroo, hooroo. Oh, you haven't an arm, you haven't a leg. You're an eyeless, boneless, chickenless egg, and you'll have to be put with the bowl to beg. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hooroo, hooroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hooroo, hooroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. Oh, darling dear, look so queer. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. But we're happy for to see you home, hooroo, hooroo. We're happy for to see you home, hooroo, hooroo. We're happy for to see you home, all from the island of Ceylon. So low and fresh, so high and bone, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hooroo, hooroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hooroo, hooroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. Darling dear, you look so queer. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Oh, darling dear, you look so queer. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Darling dear, you look so queer. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Thank you.
So while we all set up for the next tune, if the Makems want to set up here with the rest of us, while we do that, I'd like to read something for you. You're going to meet a splendid fellow, a good friend of mine, and a great friend of Bill's named Larry Luddecke. A little later, he's going to be joining us in keyboards. Bill and I worked on a bunch of albums, and then I got called out west, and when that happened, Larry took over and showed Bill how it was done, and did a number of albums with Bill. And Larry asked me if I would read you these, I don't know how many, he'll tell us when he gets up here, how many, 5, 6 albums, 7 albums with Bill? He said, rules for recording Bill Staines. This is rules for recording Bill Staines 101. Ready? Rule number 1, capture the song and the performance. That's all you need. Rule number 2, do not forget rule number 1. Rule number 3, Bill works fast. Recording takes 4 days at worst. Worst because you're having so much fun, longer would be better. A day and a half to record basics and a day and a half for overdubs, 1 day to mix. If it takes longer than that, you're overthinking. Rule number 4, just realize that if he wrote the song in piano, it's in D flat. His version of the piano part is probably the best because nobody I know has any muscle memory from playing in that key. If you never play in that key, how could your fingers possibly remember anything? Use the transpose button on your fancy new keyboard or work with his part. I suggest the latter. And let me just say, Bill did a song of mine once on an album called The Years That Come to Pass, and I said, Bill, that's amazing. It doesn't sound like, I mean, Jeanie and I recorded it. I said, it just sounds so different. I said, what key is that? He said, D flat. I said, why is it D flat? He said, because I only play the black keys. Oh, okay. And he played very well in D flat. As Larry said, he's also the only person in the entire universe that plays in D flat. Rule number 5, as I said, he works fast. In his own words, Larry, I sing the song the way I sing it. He trusted my ears for pitchy notes. If there were none, he would just say, next. Rule number 6, relish the breaks for lunch or whatever. That's when the great shared tales of life on the road and more come bubbling out. often ending in tears of laughter that may erupt again hours later when somebody recalls that moment. Rule number 7. Try to realize in the moment, and after everyone has left the studio and gone home, or back on the road, that you have probably witnessed 4 of the best days of your life, until Bill calls again next year. I love and I miss you, Bill. Larry. You wrote the song? I was just informed by Jeanie Stahl that she wrote the song, not me. But I got like $500,000 in royalty last year alone for that song, Jeanie. Now you want it? Jeez.
It's a great song.
So I'd like to introduce you. Shane and Connor Makem, who are so lucky. They live nearby. Who knew? They well have to live somewhere.
They knew.
Somewhere in Scotland, Paul McCartney's local, you know. And these gentlemen are local, and they're fabulous. And we're going to do, well, we all know this song. So please, help us out on the chorus. That's why you're here, okay?
All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out aloud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out aloud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. Listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans and the big to-do. And the old cow just goes moo. The dogs and the cats, they pick up the middle where the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles. The donkey prays and the pony neighs and the old coyote howls. All of God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. Listen to the top of the little bird sing when the melodies and the high notes ringing. Hoot owl cries over everything. The jaybird disagrees. Singing in the nighttime, singing in the day. The little duck quacks and he's on his way. And the otter ain't got much to say. Porcupine talks to himself. All of God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. It's a simple song, a living song everywhere. By the ox and the fox and the grizzly bear, the grumpy alligator and the hawk above, the sly old weasel and the turtle dove. And all God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got. Right. Thanks, Jeanie and Bill.
Oh, Brian. I want to introduce you to a fellow just flew up from Texas to be here, just so you know. And he played with Bill for decades, not years, decades, okay? Played on many of Bill's albums. Played with Nancy Griffith. Great guitar player. You've been listening to him play already and didn't even know. This is Brian Wood, who wants to say a few things, okay? Please welcome.
So, Bill was a brother. In every sense of the word other than bloodline. It was a privilege and an honor playing with him. And it was also just an unbelievable thrill standing next to him on stage, or in the latter years, sitting on stage. And just hearing one unbelievably great song after another, after another, after another, after another, for 2 hours or longer. It was just magnificent. I was very, very lucky guy to have been able to share his music. And we're all lucky because we get to share it too. He's left a legacy for generations to come. A mutual friend of ours, David Mallett, called him the new Stephen Foster. And that's about the size of it. They're going to be playing those songs forever, long after we're gone. So I'm glad you all are here to help celebrate Bill's life. And I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I got to do it. Thank you.
We played with Bill last November at Passine. We used to do this thing called the All-Stars, which says something about our ego now, doesn't it? But, oh well.
Especially because it was self-dubbed.
Yeah. Nobody else called us that. They had T-shirts made up and everything. You think about it, you want to call yourself an All-Star, just get a T-shirt made up. It catches on fast. You know? And we would do it about every year with Billy Novick and Guy Van Duser, and Jeanie and I, and a friend of ours named Stu Shulman, and Bill. And it became a thing you looked forward to. You figured next year we'll do the All-Stars again. And I've been meaning to do it for years. I used to be in the movie business, and I got a few friends of mine who are still in the business to come, and we made a movie of the last Passine show and you can find some of it on YouTube anyhow, if not all of it. And I didn't know it was Bill's last time. Yeah, like everybody else. I mean, you know, it's. I'm not gonna go on long here, but you know the thing about grief is it's the missing. It's knowing you're going to be missing somebody. It's okay if you miss him today, but you figure I'm going to see him next week or next year. But I don't get to see Bill again, and I don't get to share a stage with him again. And I'm telling you, sharing a stage with Bill Staines is as good as it gets. I mean, and we had a great time in November. So I hope you can see some of the footage. I think it's on YouTube somewhere. I talked to him. I told him I was playing this song. I'm playing this song in church these days, and it's just every time I play this song, I was playing with Billy and Guy, and I were talking about it. We played together at the Me and Thee, an appreciation of Bill set not long ago. And I said the thing about this song is it's just such a great song. So they all are, of course, but this one just gets me every time. Dear babe was born along the highway, tiny helpless thing upon the sand, heading okay with a dream out on the byway. Took the babe and held it proudly in his hands, and a woman smiled a gentle smile of knowing, and whispered something softly in its ear, perhaps a little prayer to help it grow, perhaps a word of comfort through the fear. You can't trust the moon, the mighty ocean. You can't trust the sun to shine upon the land. Take the little that you know and do the best you can, and see the rest in the quiet faith of man. Tractor makes its way along the fence line, plants the seeds precisely in a row. With The wind don't come and the rain don't take the topsoil. Before too long the crops will start to grow. And the farmer says the fields around him ripen, and it whispers something low beneath his breath. Perhaps a little prayer to help the growing, perhaps a word of thanks for all the rest. You can't trust the moon above the mighty ocean. You can't trust the sun to shine upon the land. Take the little that you know, and then you do the best you can, and you see the rest in the quiet faith of man.
Well, Bowen, you're on.
Okay, wonderful.
You all know Bowen, Bill's son. He's going to do a song by Chris Smither. He's a fabulous, fabulous guy. Great songwriter. It's called Leave the Light On. Just give us a second to get set up, please.
Got a bunch of people watching. Yeah, probably over like 50 or 60. Yeah.
One moment.
Need a hand both here.
I'm just going to keep this down. Right about here.
Yeah, sure, that's on. That's perfect. Okay. Yes, sir.
Good, cool.
Oh, that's nice. It's Bowen and Bill in Savannah.
Yeah, that's nice. Yep, that sounds perfect. Yep. Me of somebody waiting for their significant other or a friend or family member to come home from tour, and I grew up being around my mom, waiting until my dad's headlights, holding the driveway before she would call tonight. And the song's called "Leave the Light On," and it, yeah, reminds me of both my mom and my dad and my upbringing and the world of music all together. So I'm just gonna give you a go here. To that little known dimension, the taste of endless time. It's just like water, and it runs right through our fingers, but the flavor of it lingers like a rich red wine. In those days they were single, we lived them one by one. Now we hardly see them, they don't walk, they run. But I've got plenty left, I've set my sight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on, I'll be home soon. I never lived my life in such a hurry, but if I stop to worry, I'll get left behind. 'Cause life's a party, but you don't get an invitation. And there's just one destination, you better be on time. For years we rhymed in couplets, we sang them 2 by 2. Now it's hardly rhyme at all, but here's a few. And if they hurt, there's bullets left to bite on. Don't wait up, leave the light on, I'll be home soon. The drummer in my head needs inspiration. There's a lack of syncopation that holds me to a line. It's just so hard to reach those cages if we're thinking the stages we're just sinking to a slow decline. For years we danced and waltzed time, and we danced them 3 by 3. Now it's hard to dance, but if you'll stick with got what we need to spend the night on. Don't wait up, leave the light on. I'll be home soon. That we're on, we're not for glory. No moral to the story. We run for peace of mind, but the race we're running now is never ending. Space and time are bending, and there's no finish line. I will live to be 100. I was born in '86, with miles left to walk, wearing these velvet kicks. I've been left for dead before, but I still fight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on. I'll be home soon. I've been left for dead before, but I still fight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on. I'll be home soon. I've been left for dead before, but I still fight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on. I'll be home Only rock and roll, folks. Thanks.
What year did how old is that guitar? You know, when you got it?
64? 64, 66.
I'd like to introduce you to an old buddy of Bill's, one of Bill's greatest friends, Richard Smith. Please say hi.
Everybody, it was such a pleasure. The first time I heard Bill, it was in 1975 at the Stone Church. And I was fortunate enough to have a folk show then at the University of New Hampshire. And the record landed in my lap. So of course, we gave it some airplay, and then one thing led to another, and I was fortunate enough to get him a couple jobs in the community. One was my New Hampshire Folk Festival that we did very far away from Dover. It was like 10 miles in Durham, New Hampshire at the university. And then I booked him across the street at the Garrison Playhouse. He was very community, as you know. It was something special. Very community oriented, very easy to get along with. And he just loved to perform, and the people, it sold out every time, of course, and it was beautiful. I couldn't believe it was right across the street from him. But anyway, what a pleasure. And this is a great day, and enjoy.
Thank you, Richard.
Next, we're going to hear, we have a little surprise. First, we're going to hear our good friend David Mallett, who's none better than Dave, trust me, in this world. Doing one of Bill's greats, the Roseville Fair, and then we got a little surprise for you after that, okay?
The night was clear, the stars were shining, the moon came out, so quiet in the sky. People gathered round, the band was tuning, I still can hear them rain coming through the ride. You were dressed in blue, looked so lovely, just a perfect flower of a small town girl. You took my hand and we sat to the music, a single smile became my world. Help me out. And we danced all night to the fiddle and the banjo that drifted tunes seemed to fill the air. So long ago, I still remember we fell in love and the Roseville Fair. We courted deep and we courted deep. We talked for hours on the front porch chair till the year went by. From the time when I met you, made you mine, the Roseville Fair. And we danced all night to the fiddle and the banjo that drifted seemed to fill the air. So long ago, I still remember when we fell in love in the Roseville Fair. Get a little lip here. So here's a song for all the lovers, and here's a tune we all can share. And we dance all night to the fiddle and the banjo, the way we did at the Roseville Fair. To do that chorus, we danced all night to the fiddle and the banjo. The fiddle tunes seemed to fill the air. So long ago, I still remember when we fell in love at the Roseville Fair.
I probably worked with Bill more times than anyone else. I knew him for 45 years. He was the first real traveling folk singer I ever met. I think Passinas was my first gig with him. And this tune was new.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake in the hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone blessed these seeds I sow. Someone warned them from below till the rains come tumbling down. One by. Pulling weeds, picking stones, man has made trees and bones. Feel the need to grow my own, cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music from the land. Plant your rows straight and long, to temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her love and care. An old Croatian hunger from his perch in yonder tree, and in my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief over there.
Nice weather for planting, ain't it, right now? Here we go, do this tune with me.
Inch by by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rains come tumbling down.
What a wonderful group. It's great to see you guys again, all of you. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Dave Mallett. I want to know you, by the way. There ain't no competitors. Thanks, Dave. Very nice. Bowen's going to make some remarks. Bowen's back after good luck topping the last time you were on stage, by the way.
I had this big, long thing written out on my phone to say, but I'm just gonna wing it. My first memory of my dad came from before I was even born yet, and you know, when someone tells you that they remember not being born yet, it kind of, that conversation kind of goes a few ways. One of them, you know, it's just pretty much like, here's $1, now get away from me. But I remember not being bored yet. And
There you go.
and I remember this so well that I could literally draw it for you right now. And this is not something that I share with very many people, but I figured now would be a great time because I could hear my mom's voice, and I could see my knees, and I could wiggle my toes, and I knew that I was me. And I've gone through this memory many times over the course of many years to make sure that I'm remembering it correctly. But the next voice that I heard was my father's. And I think that he was asking my mom if it would be all right if he threw on an album, because the next thing I heard after that was classical music. So my dad effectively introduced me to the world of music before I was even born. I always wanted to travel with him to Alaska, and that's something that I never got a chance to do on his fall tour. I mean, this guy played close to 200 shows annually. And we all think that time goes slowly when, you know, it applies to you, but we ran out of time. And I never got to make it to Alaska with him. And one place that I always wanted him to go with me is a place I spend a lot of time, which is Iceland. And it was, I don't know, man, probably like 2010, 2011, it was several years ago, where I learned that Iceland has a huge Bill Staines fan base. And I was walking home on a Wednesday morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And you can, you know, dot your own T's and cross your own I's, make of that what you will. But basically, I saw this license plate that was in the parking lot across from the bar that I was coming out of. And it said WRS 47. And I was like, I'm gonna take that. So, and give it to my dad for a Christmas present. So I bent down and I used my friend's house key to start unscrewing the back of this license plate, because you only need the front plate to drive in Iceland. So I was like, he's not gonna miss it. So I get this thing about halfway off, and I get this tap on my shoulder, and it's this guy, and it's like snowing. And I turn around, and it's this middle-aged guy. He's got a tuxedo on, and he's like holding his leftovers, and he's on the phone. And he's like, like, what are you doing? I was gonna do exactly what I was doing, and it looks exactly like what it is. And I just came completely clean, and I said, you know, I'm Bowen, and you have your license plate has my dad's initials on it, as well as the year it was the year that he was born. What are the coincidences? And he's like, he kind of put two and two together, and it had nothing to do with my dad, but he's like, "Are you Bowen Staines?" Music. Ever since my eldest daughter was very, very small, and we sing his music every Christmas, and we live way up in the West Fjords, and we love the song about the hippo with the needles, the porcupine. We love the song about the porcupine. So can I have your license plate? Nay. And I ended up actually becoming friends with that guy years later, so that's weird, small world. But basically, what my dad loved most of all is sharing his humanity with people. And it didn't matter what you were doing, but he could get people from all walks of life into the same room together because he was so amazing at telling a good story. And he did it for so long. And growing up, I always, like, he was always there for my mom and I and everything like that. So, like, don't read into this the wrong way. But he did miss a lot too because he was always on the road. And when he was home, he was generally trying to get bookings. And so I always kind of came to know him as the voice from the other room. And before he passed, I actually, again, like coming back to thinking you have enough time to do something and then ending up not having enough time. But I've always wanted to write my dad a song. And before he passed, I was able to, I had the chords and I had the chorus and I had the lyrics for the chorus. And I was able to just put it on my piano and record it and be able to play it for him. And the first thing he said was, the vocals need to come up. But the name of the song is called Music from the Other Room. And I think that's pretty telling because he really gave it his all. And before he passed, one of the last things he said was, okay, I've done it. I'm good. Thank you.
Just give us a minute. We're gonna a couple more tunes for you in the reading, so just give us a couple of minutes. We're gonna get set up for it.
And I sent it to Bill. Yeah, I don't know if I can do it for both. You know, I think the younger one wants her own. But yeah, that's perfect, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Shane and Connor, are you going to join us for River? And you know what?
Italy, got Italy over here. Italy, yeah.
That's great.
We were sitting in the cheap seats.
In the shade?
The shade, exactly. We have to be careful with our ivory skin.
Mason and I recorded this song on our first album, and we have sung it at every gig since. I think we recorded it in 75 or 1976, the album. And you all know it. Please sing with us. It's just the most timeless song, just as Bill's songs, all of them are.
Oops, man, I have to plug in. That's what you do.
I can tell, look at that.
This thing?
Bowen, thank you for sharing that with us. And please come up and join us.
Yeah, you gonna come up and join us, Bill?
In the other room.
You can step on that. It doesn't matter if you
The tweaks.
I was born in the path of the winter wind, born where the mountains are old. Their springtime waters came dancing down. I remember the tales they told, the whistling ways of my younger days, too quickly have faded on high. But the golden memories linger on, like the light in a fading sky. And river, take me along in your sunshine, sing me your song ever moving and winding and free. You roll an old river, you change an old river, that's you and me, river, run down to the sea. Now I've been to the city and back again, been moved by some things that I've learned, met a lot of good people and I call them friends, felt the change when the seasons turn. And I've heard all the songs that the children sang, I've listened to love's melodies, I've felt my own music within me rise, like the wind in the autumn trees. River, take me along in your sunshine, sing me your song ever moving and winding and free. You roll an old river, you change an old river, that's you and me, river, run down to the sea. And when the flowers are blooming still, when the grasses are green, our rolling waters will around the bend flow into the open sea. And here's to the rainbow that's followed me here, here's to the friends that I know, and here's to the song that's within me now, I will sing it wherever I go. River, take me along in your sunshine, sing me your song ever moving and winding and free. You roll an old river, you change You change an old river, that's you and me river, run down to the sea.
Yeah!
So we're going to stay right here for one more song, but before that, Anthony's going to give us one more reading.
I just want to say one little thing here, and that is one of my best memories with Bill was with Karen as well. Back in the 1980s, I was a real jerk, and I hired a whole tall ship off the coast of Maine and said, now how the hell do we fill it? We had a folklore cruise, and we thought, okay, who can we book to fill this folklore cruise for a week after I wrote a big check? And obviously it was Bill. And I thought, hey Bill, you have a free vacation. And we had such a good time. It's the only time in my life that we all ate, I think, 5 lobsters on the beach. I'll never, ever forget it. And you know, Bowen, you talk about that time that's passed, and you don't realize how special those times with Bill and his family were until they're gone. I want to end with this reading from Bill. Why do they return, these people? Why do they come to hear the songs over and over again? Why do they take the time from their days to come and see some wandering troubadour? Does the music bring them answers to some of the questions that they have in their own lives? Does it carry them away to some far-off place? Does the music soothe them or comfort them? Does it lift them out of themselves for just a little bit and set them down upon some high place where the view is long and clear? Does it bring them together for a moment and open their eyes to each other? Does it matter? Is it lasting? Do the notes remain when the troubadour is well upon his way to some other town? They feel the magic that drives him to be the musician, the songmaker, the king, and the clown, all rolled into one, belonging to everybody and yet to no one at all. Do they feel his heart as it breaks upon the stage and falls before them in little pieces in their feet? Do they feel his joy as the music of his entire being floods into the hall, eddying between the chairs and the tables as it searches them out and enters their hearts and minds? Do they listen? Do they understand? Do they comprehend this moment of all sadness and all joy? An artist may become thin in body for lack of food, but it will not matter to him when he's nourished by even the slightest appreciation of their work. A woman steps up to me after the show and says, Bill, I know you hear this all the time, but your music has meant a lot to me over the years. Does she think that telling me this is such a trivial thing? Sometimes it's the knowledge that I have reached someone which is the only thing that keeps me going. Thank you, fair lady. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your thoughts. Thank you more than you will ever know.
Aaron and Bowen for providing us a chance to get to know each other. Thank you for coming out, folks. It's really, we've been looking forward to this for a long time, so thank you for letting us do this for you. We're going to say goodbye. This is a song that Karen said was very important.
Bowen, do you want to come sing this with us?
But not here. I thought he was with us.
So,
yeah, get up here. She was. I thought he was here.
This is a song that Karen shared. I have one here, Karen. We have one here. This is a song that Karen said was sung at Bill and Karen's wedding. So
And it's a lovely, beautiful song. And it's in your programs if you know it. How can I keep from singing?
And I want to thank David. You're welcome to join us. Please, we're so glad that David Mallett made it way down from the wilds of Maine to join us today. Very kind of you.
And thank you for all of you who are tuning into the live stream that's being done.
And thanks to our sound guy, Billy Novick, who if the clarinet thing never really catches on, he can fall back on me.
My life goes on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the sweet, the far-off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear its music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? Although the tempest loudly roars, I hear that truth that liveth, and through the darkness round me flows songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost heart, while to the rock I'm clinging. Since love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? I lift my eyes, the cloud grows thin, I see the blue above it, and day by day this pathway smooths, since first I learned to love it. No storm can shake my inmost heart, while to the rock I'm clinging. Since love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? Since love is Lord